What's up, everybody?
Hey.
This is a new series, something to get used to, something we've been planning on working on for a while. But now it is here. So welcome to the first episode of Prolific Strikers Couples Counseling.
So from relationships that we've kind of seen around us and even our own relationship, I feel like we kind of built up a pretty good amount of experience to be able to offer up some advice that's definitely worked for us. Now for this first video, we are going to be discussing what you need to even be looking for, like the very basics of finding a relationship.
Like on an adult level, like not just like high school crush, middle school type level, like adult, mature, building level. So first things first, truthfully, you're not even supposed to be looking for a relationship. The relationship is supposed to find you. In my personal opinion, you should be doing pretty much your priorities for life. And usually when you're doing things like that, whether it's working or in school or something to get you where you want to be in life, you'll find the correct person who's actually a connection to help you guys build that foundation to help both of your goals excel.
Because honestly, when you're actually out searching for a relationship, you're not really focusing on bettering yourself. Because then that actually leads on to our next topic, which is, what are you bringing to the table? And what is that? Do you even know what type of qualities you even want in the person? Like, are we just focused on physical appearance? Do you actually care about the person that you may want to spend the rest of your life with? Do you got something going on for you? Do you got a degree? If you don't got a degree, do you got a trade? If you don't got a trade, do you got a business? If you don't got a business, do you got a portfolio? Okay, that's income wise. Do you got anything else that you can bring to the table? Like, are you funny? Are you compassionate? Are you empathetic? There's a lot of stuff that kind of comes inside the package that you're trying to sell, and you can't really only be focused on the outside view, because that's not gonna make a relationship last.
Like, from a dude's perspective, I'm not gonna say you can't, but it's going to be a lot harder to find someone on Beyonce's level and secure them without being on Jay-Z's level. Financially, mentally, spiritually, there's a level you have to be on to be compatible. For the other person to feel secure, because that's extremely important. It's security.
I think that we've kind of shifted into a generation that we're kind of seeking thrill, or we're seeking like these mini relationships, these situationships, and we're not really focused on that security. And I think that's what kind of messed us up in the long run. In regards to short-term relationships that we got going on now, it kind of leads us into our next part of the video, which is honestly about being realistic.
So this is actually one of my favorite topics, because being a dude, you hear stuff like this all the time. Being realistic is extremely important. Not more so for you, but for the other person. If you don't want to be in a relationship, don't seek a relationship. If you just want to play and have fun, there are several hundreds, millions of people who just want to have fun. You know, if you get into a relationship knowing you didn't want to be in a relationship, that's when someone gets hurt. And then that turns into a circle. So it's like people want the security of the relationship, but not the responsibilities. When there are even ways to get around that, like being friends with benefits. At least from a dude's perspective like myself, to watch other dudes say stuff like they don't want a relationship, but then get in a relationship and then hurt the person they're in a relationship with, it doesn't make logical sense. Something else I want to speak on is not getting with someone whose morals conflict with your morals.
You know, for example, if you kind of consider yourself not really the type of person to kind of go like all out, like, you know, drinking, partying, smoking weed, all that other stuff, why why mess yourself up and then willingly go into a relationship with the person who does all of that and then not be happy and try to change that person for doing all the stuff that you weren't okay with? Like, I understand you like the person, I understand you like him, like her, but to knowingly go into a relationship with somebody and know that a big part of what they like, what they love, and what they want to continue to do, you're not okay with, and you unknowingly or knowingly are going to try to change them. That doesn't make any sense.
And this also falls back into the category of not looking for a relationship. Because if you're doing exactly what you love, you're 9 out of 10. If you're partying hard and that's what you love to do, you're 9 out of 10 gonna find somebody in the club that's doing that with you. If you're in the library studying, you might find somebody in the library that's doing the same thing that you want to do. If you're out there hustling, investing in something, you might run across another person that does the same thing. If you do what you love to do and work towards what you want to do, you're gonna find that person that's in the right field as you.
Now, we're not saying opposites, like, don't attract, and you shouldn't get with people that aren't exactly like you. That's not what we're saying at all. But what we are saying is that it's okay to go with somebody who aligns with what you want in life. It's perfectly fine. If you're a Christian and you want a Christian man, I'm not gonna sit here and judge you. If you're a hard liquor, promiscuous type of person and you find kind of your morality in that, then 100% find a dude, find a girl that's going to respect that, and don't just assume. That's where communication kind of falls in, and that's our next line of topic.
So for the moment, we're gonna briefly go over communication, because we do plan on having a full video on communication and why it's so important, because communication is 100% key.
It needs its own video.
Communication rules the nation, like that's real. But starting up, you have to, first of all, when you get into a new relationship, you need to let go of your last relationship. You cannot come into the next relationship putting on the baggage that your last girl gave you on your new girl, because your new girl didn't do it. You can't expect your new girl to be lying just because your last girl lied to you a lot. You can't expect when she says she going out with her friends that she gonna be doing the same stuff that hurt you in the last relationship. But you also need to explain to her what happened in the last relationship. You can't just be thugged out. You gotta let her know what happened so she can adjust how she may move, at least for the first beginning part, until you guys get on a comfortable level to where she can do everything freely and you openly trust her.
I don't think there's anything wrong with adjusting behavior. Personality wise, I feel like it's pretty much set in stone unless you have like this huge catalyst of change or like a traumatic event happened. But behavior wise, it can definitely switch up, and I honestly feel like it does need to switch up being in a relationship, because you're in a relationship with a whole nother human being who has their own trauma, their own memories, their own morals, values. Like, this is a whole nother person that you are willingly entering into a relationship with. And you need to understand that certain stuff that you may be okay with or not okay with, they may not understand that, or they may not know that at all, and they're okay with that. And that's where communication kind of falls in. Now, with communication, and I'm gonna preach this to the high heavens, you can communicate all the issues that you got in a relationship, but if that person don't want to hear it or is purposely trying to not understand, because not only you need communication, you need to understand what I am saying. If you don't got that, then you don't need to be in a relationship. You don't need to be looking for a relationship. You don't need any of that. For example, if that person's saying that you tripping, you don't know what you're talking about, it's not even that serious, all this other stuff, let me tell you something, that's a mild form of gaslighting. I'm gonna explain that later in another video. But is completely negating your emotions or your feelings, and it leads to you feeling like you crazy. Maybe the situation really ain't that serious. No, it's that serious. They playing you.
Understanding is a huge part. If somebody isn't willing to understand where you're coming from, especially where you're coming from, because you don't have to agree with somebody, but you can at least understand where they're coming from. If somebody can't do that, then my personal opinion, you need to slide before it gets too late. Because the longer you stay, the worse things get. Whatever is tolerated will be amplified. Understanding also ties into the very last topic, which is respect. If somebody can't respect your goals, ambitions, whatever your ideas are, your problems with the relationship, things that you may want to work on or you want them to work on, you cannot be in a relationship with that person because it's going to cause conflict in the end.
I think some people have different kind of definitions on whether or not respect and love kind of coincide with each other. And for me personally, I do feel like you can love somebody but not respect them, because I feel like love is the actual feeling, but the respect is where the action kind of falls into. Now, some people put them together. And more props to you, because you're not wrong either. But I do genuinely feel like if the actions ain't matching up with the words, it don't matter if they blue in the face telling you that yes, they do respect you, yes, they do love you. Only one half of that is the truth, per se.
So when you are facing a potential relationship, there are a couple things you want to, think about and take serious. Unless, it's a mutual agreement that it's just going to be like, a quick little fling, a little summer fling or something.
A little casual.
But outside of that, you do need to take it seriously. You are, in a sense, juggling with somebody else's heart.
The reason why we are kind of discussing this, like the main reason, is because a lot of people don't have this. They don't really have this open communication to be able to know what you are supposed to do, what you're not supposed to do, because they had these terrible role models, like your parents. You had previous relationships where you didn't know what the heck was going on. You had your friends who went through trash relationships. It's just, once you kind of get into thinking that a toxic/terrible relationship is normal, all your other relationships, even though they look exactly like that and they're also trash too, it's gonna start feeling like, well, it's supposed to be like that. And that's furthest from the truth. Once you kind of get into thinking that a toxic/terrible relationship is normal, all your other relationships, even though they look exactly like that and they're also trash too, it's gonna start feeling like, well, it's supposed to be like that. And that's furthest from the truth.
Pretty much you're conditioning yourself to believe that the relationship you grew up seeing is the ideal relationship, and you end up looking for the characters that were in that relationship. And that's how you make this long domino effect, and you end up believing all dudes ain't nothing and all girls are this. It's just because you keep searching for this specific character, but you expect a different outcome.
We're not placing ourselves as experts, far from it. But we are people who do research, who from our own personal experiences and from our own kind of mess ups, then makeups, we kind of understand how to make a relationship work
and last without conflict.
So I know we're gonna be doing we're still gonna be doing our main stuff,
It's still gonna be pretty lit. It's still gonna be fun.
But I can't willingly, we can't, because this is a team. We can't willingly have all this fun, but also not teach you guys the basics behind a relationship.
We just want to keep it real and hope that others will.
So thank you for coming to our channel. Thank you for watching our video.
You can feel free to comment any topics of things you might want us to talk about. Please turn on your post notifications and subscribe. share this with your significant other or somebody else going through it with somebody.
Or just rewatch it for yourself, because sometimes people are hard-headed and they need the information to kind of circulate multiple times.
That's very true. Don't stop watching. Don't be toxic.
I'm Stephanie. What are you doing? Already, even in these type of videos, you're gonna do it.
You look pretty toxic right now.
That's crazy. I'm Stephanie Stryker.
I'm Prolific Pat.
Thank you.
I need something to throw.
You don't. Bye.
Are we not throwing stuff in here?
No, we're not throwing that stuff at them.